Endometriosis and Fibromyalgia in interview. In my article What You Need to Know About Endometriosis, I give you a background on endometriosis. This video is an interview with a Fibromyalgia warrior, Jennifer. She answers questions so readers can see what it is like to live with endometriosis and fibromyalgia. She will also give you insight into her tips on how she manages her co-morbid conditions. Name and age. Jennifer Coleman, 40. When were you diagnosed with fibromyalgia? March 2018. When were you diagnosed with endometriosis? I was diagnosed with endo in October 2008, but it was not a surprise. My periods began when I was 11, and were extremely heavy and painful. I went on the birth control pill at age 11 due to their fierceness. Which diagnosis came first? Endo. Do you have any other diagnosis or conditions? If so, what are they and were they diagnosed before or after the fibro and endo? I was diagnosed with interstitial cystitis, EC, in August 2018. I've had some TMJ/teeth grinding issues and migraines off and on since I was a teen. What are some of the symptoms that you experience? Endo. I had a partial hysterectomy in 2017, so I no longer have periods, but since I still have my ovaries, I can feel a very strong cycle and had to resume the birth control pill post-op. Fibro, aches and pains in the 18 fibro tender points, as well as referred pain. My wrists hurt when I drive my car a lot of days. I was having severe neck pain, which is gone for the moment. Myofascial release/MFR, heat, a scarf, and CBD cream help greatly, and in place, I'm having knee, back, and hip pain. MRF helps those too, and I'm about to do another round of PT, which I respond well to. The stronger I am, the better I feel. Once upon a time, I could do a killer yoga headstand. Also, fibro fog, fatigue, and sleep difficulties. Ick, if I don't drink enough water I feel ick pain, vaginal/pelvic pain. If not already stated above, was diagnosis a long road for you? Please tell us a little about the struggle to figure out what was wrong. When my postpartum menstrual cycles returned, when my second/final child was 9 months old, they were heavy and long. I tried many forms of birth control, with the hope of either calming or stopping them. After over a year of trying, my OB/GYN suggested that I had adenomyosis, which is endo on the uterus. The only way to be 100% sure, and also to treat it, is to perform a partial hysterectomy. I went into my surgery feeling that it was the right decision either way. Adenomyosis was indeed found. Complications. Terribly, unfortunately, my bladder was injured during my hysterectomy. I'd never been prone to UTIs but am now. I've had many UTIs and bladder issues since my surgery. Even without my period flowing, I'm prone to pelvic pain. A cystoscopy to check on my bladder about 8 months post-op sent my pelvic and referred pain soaring. Soon after the cystoscopy showed a healthy bladder, I was diagnosed with fibro. My pain doctor says to think of my fibro onset as my nervous system malfunctioning due to all the trauma. Also, people who have had any and or all of the following are more prone to fibro, plus I've always had a high fight or flight response, which I found helpful, until fibro. TMJ, I used to wear a bite guard and still wake some mornings with headaches from teeth grinding, migraines, mine are mostly hormonal, I get them a few times a year, no aura. Ick, that diagnosis is a result of the injury to my bladder. I didn't have ick symptoms before, and thankfully mine is currently regular. Endo, yes, and both sides of my family have or had a heavy period, so I was likely to have them. I have 2 daughters and am armed with so many women's health knowledge to help them if they need it. Ibs, mild. So I have experienced, to varying degrees, all the maladies she listed. Are you on medications or have you tried medication for any of your conditions? Fibro. -400 morning/700 evening Neurontin. Low-dose naltrexone. Nortriptyline. Cymbalta. Ketamine infusions about every 7 weeks. CoQ10 supplement. Daily vitamin with fish oil and vitamin D, etc. Curcumin supplement, a compound found in turmeric. My Cycle. Daily birth control pill. EC. Sometimes Eurispis and or Urabel. D-nano supplement. Sometimes OTC per leaf before coffee or a meal that might trigger me. Helps me a ton. I need coffee in the morning to combat my meds so I can drive my daughters to school. Sometimes aloe vera capsules. Sometimes azo. As a result of my endometriosis, I also have anemia. My iron has a hard time binding to my blood cells. Do you also have this, or is there anything else you experienced directly related to endo? I had anemia at the onset of my period in my teens. Sometime in my 20s, my period lightened. I also dealt with anemia while trying to stop my period pre-hysterectomy. Taking iron helped though, a week of PMS and then a week of a heavy period, which was exhausting. In my 20s and 30s, I began only having a heavy cycle every other month. I generally found that the right birth control pill helped my symptoms. Did you have fertility problems? My husband and I were very lucky and got pregnant within a few months on the first try and immediately the second. Do you have any tips or advice to give to others in either getting diagnosed, treated or living with fibromyalgia and endometriosis? Seek the right doctors. It's okay to doctor shop. Do your research, but don't just rely on Dr. Google. Find in-person and online support. Re-fibro, there is always a new medicine, study, or supplement to consider, and another round of PT or a wellness group to do or join. I'm going to join a year-long wellness group in February/March through my pain doctor's hospital that has PT, OT, and MSW, group meetings, and pain management. We are #Fibro Warriors and there is hope. Re-endo. Find an OB-GYN you're very comfortable with and who understands how difficult your periods are. Experiment until you're on the right birth control if that's the option you choose to help you. Being on it has never felt like a choice for me. Also, fertility issues are unfortunately so common, and there is no shame. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel.